Um, the other one, here did it. He's Soccer fans, welcome into the beautiful Zions Bank Stadium here at the Rail Academy here in Harriman City for this Western Conference matchup between Swope Park Rangers and the Rail Monarchs. Chad Barrett alongside Landon Southwick for the call of tonight's game. Chad, both teams coming off victories on the weekend, and they've got a quick turnaround here on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, quick turnaround on the Wednesday night. We got Monarchs coming off a very edgy 2-1 win, a very good game against OCSC, a game where we thought we would see a ton of goals. It was led by superb goalkeeping and a great finish by Juan Mayer, who's going to actually get his start in place of Chandler Hoffman, the favorite Chandler Hoffman, and just kind of goes to show that, kind of no matter what you do, you can always take that spot. And then you have Swope Park coming in here, coming off a 1-0 win at OKC Energy FC on the first game of a three road game stand. And they have some names here, some names that we're very familiar with. So it'll be very interesting to see kind of what they decide to come with and how they play.
Like he's mentioning, Brad Evans making a start tonight for Swope Park. A little bit of a unique look, wearing the captain's armband, free agent, spent time with Seattle. Many fans might recognize him. 230 appearances in the MLS over 8 seasons, and a guy that's over 12 seasons, a guy that's very well recognized even with the national team.
Well, I remember when he had 0 appearances, so that just goes to show how old I am. But it's very surprising to see him on the game sheet today, but, he got signed as a free agent to SKC. He's a very good player, very reliable, great leader. He was a Seattle captain for forever, and rightfully so. He was a great captain to have on our team when I played with him in 2015. And to see him here playing with this, I know that it's probably not where he wants to be, but that's kind of what you have to do. You just have to step up.
Let's check out the starting lineups for both sides.
So Swope Park Rangers are going to come in with a 4-3-3 led by Paulo Negamura. We're going to go with the Monarchs side of Connor Sparrow. We got some changes in. Hanlon's going to be coming in for, we got Hurd coming in for Chang. We got Juan Mayer, as we stated, coming in for Chandler Hoffman. And on the other side, on the flip side here, we have, like we said, Brad Evans, Colton Storm, Rodrigo Sevilla, Kazane, Busio, Didic, all players that play with SKC on the first team. They're going to be coming in here trying to get minutes, trying to show their team, trying to show SKC that they're ready to step up and play.
You know, this has been a very good battle on the MLS side. Typically, Sporting Kansas City and Real Salt Lake have gone at it. Tonight, we're going to get a chance to see these two sides go at it. Real Monarchs own a 2-0-1 all-time record against Swope Park. So they've had the better of Swope Park of the last few seasons. But tonight, both teams sitting pretty close even in the table and towards the top of the Western Conference table, and it should be a battle.
I mean, just like the other two games against two very good teams that are up in the standings, this is going to be that third test. With Fresno coming in on Saturday, it looks like Mark Briggs has decided to sit a few of his regular starters. Chang sitting, Hoffman sitting. Velasquez is going to be there pulling the strings, the maestro in there, so that's always important to have him in there, that central cog. And then you have Acosta and Herrera swinging down from RSL. Haven't seen these two play in a while. Herrera's been hurt. Danny Acosta's been going through other issues. It'll be great to see what they can bring. They're both young. They're both great players. They both like to get forward.
Charlie Adams, the normal mainstay in the Monarchs midfield, is tonight serving a one-game suspension from a red card on the weekend against Orange County, a late double yellow that turned into a red.
And you could say that, you know, he did a great job when he was actually stopping. He puts the arm up, he argues with the ref, but you put the arm up, you deny an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, it's going to happen. Unfortunately, he had a kind of a careless tackle into the first half, which I know he was upset about, very English tackles we talked about, but he was excited. He hadn't played for a while, and those things can tend to happen. But not having him in the lineup, I guarantee that if he was available, it would have been great to see him in there again for a second straight game. Get a little bit more you get used to the speed and you get used to a little bit more of the play, get used to playing with your teammates again. So I think that was really important for him, and it's unfortunate he's not going to be able to play tonight, but I expect Hurd and Hanlon to step in and do a great job. Someone
that's going to be anchoring that midfield and has all season long is Justin Portillo. Played every minute for the Real Monarchs in this 2018 season and has really been the guy that his name's not called super frequently, but he does everything really well.
He does everything really well. I mean, I've probably watched him play 3 games in a row where I've seen him spread probably 10 to 20 balls. He loves to play those diagonal balls in the corner. You see it's coming, but he's so pinpoint accurate and so perfect with it and precise with his passing that it's very hard to intercept. And as I'm an outside player, and especially someone coming in like Hanlon, can I see what he's been doing off the field, on the bench, and can I make those runs that I know that he can play those balls in?
Let's check out 2 players that are must-watch players tonight. The first on the Monarch side, Richard Ledesma, a guy that's making his first professional start tonight for the Real Monarchs. His 3rd appearance, played 25 minutes so far in this season, but is being called into Tad Ramos' U20 side tomorrow.
This kid's upside is literally as high as he wants it to be. We watched him play, and we mentioned how comfortable he seems and all this. He's 16 years old. He's not the youngest player on the field today. The youngest player today is Busio, but is he at the same stage that Ledesma is at 16 years old? He's on the youth national team. He comes in here and he's got a ton of confidence going around all the time, and you can see he kind of plays with it. So it'll be very interesting. I'm very excited to see him start tonight and see what he can do with a full 90 minutes or however long he ends up playing according to Briggs.
Speaking of the U20 camp, both games are going to be against Honduras. Tab Ramos selected 10 players from the USL to join his squad, including Richard Ledesma and David Ochoa here for the Real Monarchs / RSL Academy. And on the flip side, Wilson Harris, who's getting a start up top tonight for Swope Park, is also being called into the side. So a very solid group going to face Honduras.
And the person that we haven't mentioned the entire time is Carlton Belmar. This man has 7 goals and 2 assists. He's up there in the USL standings, first, if not close to being the leader right now. He's going to be the danger man that you have to watch. He's the person that gets all their glory, all their goals, and it comes from one side. So you can already kind of say, hey, maybe we really need to concentrate on this left side, take the ball down the left side, make them play on their right.
Like we mentioned, should be a good one tonight here at Zions Bank Stadium. Good crowd on hand here. Kind of a fun night, the first of many nights like this where there's 2 games going on here in the state. The Utah Royals playing at Rio Tinto Stadium tonight.
That's really hard to choose, right? We have the Royals, you have the Monarchs. Who do you go see? 2 great stadiums. You're probably going to watch 2 great games.
100%. And we're underway here at Zions Bank Stadium. Connor Sparrow's going to get things kicked off here. Moving forward, Ryden playing center back alongside Gallagher tonight. A little bit of a different look for the Monarchs. Moberg in the 18, but on the bench. Gallagher takes a slide. Another fall by Ryden. Ryden's going to be called for the foul. He'll take down Busio.
They wet the field right before the game, but I don't think you'd be able to notice it by what just happened and transpired. There was a whole lot of, the ball was just kind of bumbling around all over the place, and then it kind of comes in the middle. Ryden throws in a tackle, probably one that he's more likely to throw in that left outside back. Dene Acosta's taking that left outside back from him. So now he has to kind of figure out, how do I play center back again? What chances can I take? Now you have a free kick from a dangerous area. Connor Sparrow, let's see what he can do with it. Had a great game last game.
Monarchs with a 4-man wall. Additional 3 Swope Park Rangers standing right in the wall.
You can expect them to just kind of part the seas, and you're looking for deflections. You're looking for a power shot through.
Busio, he'll hit it from distance, never got it down, as this one's going to go way over the goal.
It's almost like teeing it up off the 3-wood. You don't really tee it up very high, but on this turf, especially that it's new, it sits up a little bit, so you really have to come more across it than up the down.
Beautiful artificial surface here at Zions Bank Stadium. Brought in from the Netherlands, same pitch that's inside the academy facility, training facility for Real Salt Lake, just behind the stadium. Monarchs going to be moving from right to left, wearing their claret and cobalt tonight. Hurd, he's going to try to get around the defender. Mayer will play it out for a Monarchs throw-in. Into Sebastian Velasquez. It'll be out, and it'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs on the far side.
And tonight's going to be a real test of depth. Just how many players can we count on? This is what Briggs wants to know. These are answers that are going to be answered tonight, or questions that are going to be answered tonight for him. Stepping up against a good Swope Park team. They pass really well. They play a lot like SKC does. And I think that SKC and RSL both have great programs in the Monarchs and the Swope Park Rangers, in the sense that they play the same formation. Their coaches are on the same page.
Colton Storm will throw it in for Swope Park. Like we mentioned, Juan Mare playing up top tonight for the Real Monarchs after a blistering rocket shots in the 91st minute of play to win all 3 points for the Monarchs in their last game.
And if this window was open, you could definitely hear the fans. They kind of sighed because they thought the play had died. And it just kind of catches up to him. He waits. He's patient. He picks out his top target. Keeper gets a little hand to him to be, like you said, he ripped it so hard that there was just really nothing the keeper could do. And if there was a day he could do something, it definitely was going to be that day. He was playing so well at that point.
Sparrow's going to play it up over top. It'll go over everybody's head and all the way back to Zendejas, who's going to get his first touch.
I'd be interested to see what kind of player Mayer shows today. When you come in for 15 minutes, you have tons of energy, you have tons of endurance and fitness, and you get to do everything with kind of a fresh slate. Now you have 90 minutes. Now the defenders have time to figure you out. Now they get to see whether you're fast or you're slow, or you're going to do step overs or moves or whatever. And so we'll see, especially with a man like Brad Evans in the back.
Brad Evans looking for Belmar, plays it up over top. Nice ball, lays it down. Belmar's going to try to get on the end of it, and he'll put it up and over. It'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs, but a great ball there from Brad Evans as he put the perfect amount of touch on it.
I mean, he's no stranger to playing on turf. All the times up there at CenturyLink Field and Quest Field, or wherever it was called when he was there for some time, but he knows exactly. He's played me-through balls before. He's a great player, very accurate passer. There's a reason why he's still playing and why SKC wanted him on their team.
He's a free agent this year, signed by Sporting Kansas City in February. Like I mentioned, having made 230 appearances over 12 years as the Monarchs are going to move forward. Ball from Sebastian Velasquez is behind Mare, but the Monarchs going to maintain possession. Out wide, Hurd looking for Mare. Mare gets under it, but can't get it on frame as he is just off balance.
Yeah, that was a great ball in there from Hanlon. He serves it in back post, picks out Moray. Wasn't just too far off, but Storm did a great job coming inside and just cutting off his run. He could see that the ball was going to travel a little bit too long, and he did a great job just kind of getting underneath him. It's not a foul. You're just getting position, and that's very important for any defender aspiring to be a professional soccer player. Position is very important.
Monarchs have a challenge in front of them tonight. Some good attacking players for Swope Park. Ball looking forward for Ledesma. Ledesma's holding up his hand, trying to figure out where he needs to be.
You always wonder what's going to happen with these type of teams. So when RSL and the Monarchs combined a team to play in the Open Cup last year, I think they did worse than they would have done if the Monarchs had just played that game. And sometimes when you get 5, 6, 7 players that are from the first from SKC to come down and play with Swope Park, sometimes that can mess with the chemistry a little bit.
6 minutes in here at Zions Bank Stadium, still scoreless. Chad Barrett alongside Landon Southwick. Want to have a conversation with us, jump on Twitter.
I have to say congratulations to you on the new house that you just bought, buddy.
I'm just changing my life up here.
Just signed his life away. Gonna have a kid here pretty soon. This is just the cherry on top right here.
Friday morning, heading into the hospital. So
best of luck to you and your wife.
Thank you. Throw in for Swope Park inside the 18, defended well by the Monarchs. Acosta's gonna play it forward. Jockeying with Brad Evans is Juan Mare. So we played all the way back to the keeper by Didic.
It's been a big game for Danny Acosta. Everybody's been kind of waiting since the national team camp to see what's going on with him. This is his chance to just say, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm going to be playing from here on out. This is my spot. There's definitely vacancies left open all the time in the defense as the RSL just takes injuries nonstop, it seems. So, you know, he's a player that for the future, and especially since the academy days and U20 national team days, that people have just been really waiting to really get their eyes on.
He's got a challenge facing Belmar, the leading scorer in the USL this season with 7 goals in 6 appearances. The number 2 scorer in the USL with 5 goals, got a 2-goal advantage there. Monarchs doing a good job of winning the balls in the air so far.
Right there, you see a difference between a Monarch player and an Academy player. Both Monarch players, they're 2 center backs, but they get in really hard. You have to be hard. You have to be the person that's delivering the punch. If you don't deliver the punch, you're going to absorb something much worse than what you would have given. So with Ledesma, he's got to be careful of those people coming in the back. Give a look over your shoulder so you can see him coming and then draw a foul. But, you know, you don't definitely want to let him know that he can come over you anytime he wants to.
Didic looking forward. Nice little turn there. Swope Park moving forward. Can they get off the break? They'll be cut off by the Monarchs. By Ryden, Belmar, he's off to the races. Belmar, shot and a goal! Swope Park finds the back of the net in the 9th minute of play by Carlton Belmar.
Really well-worked goal, and it all started here up at the midfield with a great touch inside from Belmar. He takes a great touch inside, plays a 1-2. It doesn't really work out. Defensive mid comes up. I think it was Cousin comes up, wins a strong challenge. Belmar's already in that forward advanced space. He gets the ball played through, and then speed just takes over. Then it's just 5-hole all day for him. Connor Sparrow left out to dry. That's kind of a forward's dream right there. It's on his favorite foot. Adds to his tallies for the season. That's 8 now.
His 8th goal of the 2018 season. Carlton Belmar did a good job. One of the things I noticed, though, on that play is you'll notice Connor Sparrow hesitated for a quick second and maybe would have got out into a better position, but found himself in no man's land trying to spread wide. And Belmar found him right between the legs.
Such an explosive player Belmar is already showing to be, and he explodes through that line, and it just turns out bad because Connor Sparrow's caught flat on his feet, as you said, and his speed gets him there so much faster than Connor Sparrow's able to get out, making it so that he has to spread his legs and make himself as big as possible. Great goal by Swope Park, 1-0.
Brad Evans looking forward. Belmar's there. He's going to play it back to Didic. Cloud covering up the sun here at Zions Bank Stadium. 80 degrees on a beautiful night here for soccer. A beautiful game being played on a beautiful night. Belmar, he's going to take a crack from distance, high and wide. It'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs.
And you're feeling it, you're feeling it. He wasn't too far out. It was a good first touch. You like a forward that has that kind of tenacity. He just wants to get it and shoot. Not all the time, but right after he scores a goal, go for it.
Monarchs struggling to get rid of pressure, to relieve pressure right in there.
Swope Park doing a great job really pushing up their lines.
Sebastian Velasquez running at the defense. Got Hurd. Hurd's inside the area. Hurd, shot, and just wide.
That's so big. That's so important. You got to put that in. That's such a missed opportunity, and it's really been the story of RSL for the last 3 games ever since they really got here at Zion Bank Stadium, not finding that crucial goal. Cheng scores a goal that he gets a little bit of help with from the turf a little bit while Mare scores a great goal. But there's been so many other great opportunities that they just go begging because they're not finished. Needed somebody with a killer instinct.
One of the best opportunities for the night for the Monarchs. Colton Storm all the way forward. He'll be looking into the midfield. Bad giveaway there, and Portillo will cut it off.
But maybe the Monarchs figured something out there. Ryden plays it in. They're pushing their lines way up. They have 5 guys 30 yards from your goal when you have the ball. Can you get that ball up faster? Sebastian Velasquez is a king at finding those little pockets. Great little ball in, and of course he's the one that's dishing the ball off. Great run by Hurd. The finish just has to be there.
Acosta. Back to Ryden. Ledesma's going to check into the midfield. Ryden with it, calling for somebody to check towards him. No one moving really well in the midfield. Sebastian Velasquez sitting really high. Karsten Hanlon probably is that guy that needs to drop in and find that ball.
Well, it's chemistry, you know. It's making those runs. If I know that this person's going to make this run, I'm going to make this run. Ledesma, Mayer, and Hurd haven't played that much together besides in practice. So this is going to be a kind of a testing game in the first 20 minutes. Can we figure out what's going to go on? How these people are like to run? How these people like to move?
Colton Storm, Ledesma there. Ledesma's going to play it out for a throw-in. Did a good job there with Storm on his back. Acosta. Ball into Belmar. Trying to turn. Ledesma stalking him. Mare is going to come over to win it. Belmar does a good job to keep possession for Swope Park.
Belmar just seems to have that one thing you can't teach. Even when he takes a long touch, he still manages to get to the ball. He has speed. Just a crazy amount of speed that he uses very well.
Monarchs applying a lot of pressure on that right side of the field. It'll be a giveaway. And Swope Park moving forward.
I thought that was a good job. I thought they did a great job of condensing the field and making the team play on one side. They did a good job. The ball gets played through. There's really no danger coming from their forwards, and they're holding such a good line on defense that Connor Sparrow, has that room to work with. Unfortunately for Belmar, he dribbled through the back line last time.
Brad Evans will take a few touches, wearing the captain's armband for Swope Park tonight. On the flip side, the Monarchs, captain's armband being worn by Sebastian Velasquez, number 55.
I wonder if it's weird for him to not wear the captain's armband. He's been wearing it for so long now.
It's got to be a change, especially wearing one of your rivals' uniforms. He's been a little bit of a journeyman here the last little bit. Spent a lot of time with Seattle, was that mainstay for the Sounders, a guy that a lot of Real Salt Lake fans will recognize.
Yeah, I think that his injuries just kind of caught up to him. Reliability in defense is something you always need. Oh, very hard tackle there by Mayer.
RA got him. Storm's going to keep it in just on the touchline, defended by Ledesma.
Mayer could be in some kind of card trouble here. It looked like he caught him very late on a slide tackle that didn't seem very necessary, but let's hope that Brad Evans is okay.
Evans holding his right knee, Mare. Gonna give him a tap on the leg. His head trainer, Jacob Brownback, waiting at the midfield line to step on and provide assistance to Brad Evans.
It looks like it's definitely be a yellow card here, and the center referee is just making sure that it's not red worthy. It looks like the follow through just got him. Wasn't anything too malicious, but it's early doors to go into the book. So now you got to be careful, and you can't throw any more of those challenges. And it has physical as you want to be with the defenders. Now you can't be so much.
Yellow card issued to Juan Mare in the 15th minute of play.
And that could just be excitement from getting the start and from being on the field. You could tell the same thing happened last week with Charlie Adams, put in a really rash, hard challenge. Probably wasn't necessary. Just like that, was not necessary. The ball was going into the back, wasn't in the center of the field. They weren't in a dangerous attacking position. There's really no reason to go to ground there for Mayer. So it's a little bit disappointing of a yellow card for me.
Storm will play it back to Didick in Swope Park's half of the field. Bird there, applies pressure, and it'll be a throw-in for Swope Park. Bucio, the 15-year-old, who made his pro debut earlier this year in April.
15, huh?
Born in 2002.
I think I still have the Now CD 2002.
Britney Spears. In sync. The whole 9 yards on that CD, Chad.
That might even be too soon, to be honest. That might be older than that. I feel like that.
What year did you?
Was late '90s or something.
What year did you start your professional career?
I started my professional career in 2005. So.
Still in college.
Yeah, still in college.
And he wasn't even born.
Nope. I was Marcus Hanneman's teammate up in Seattle, and we had teammates on the team that were younger than he had played professional careers or professional seasons. Sorry.
Some knowledge, age, and wisdom up here in the booth tonight from MLS veteran Chad Barrett. Bird's going to be called for the foul.
Speaking of wisdom, you're really seeing it put on here in display by Swope Park.
Swope Park quickly takes it inside the 18.
And that's smart by Denny. You know, you don't know what's behind you. You don't know the pressure. Unless the referee says something, he's not very comfortable on his right foot. So just put it out for a corner kick. You guys readjust, get your lines again, get everybody get marked up. But you could tell right there, they're prone to falling asleep. Hurd makes the tackle, the ball goes straight down, it bounces, get in front of the ball again, stop them from playing forward. They play the ball out wide, get a great cross inside. Very dangerous cross that Harris almost lashed onto.
Be the first corner kick of the match for Swope Park. Busio will take it. Driven ball inside the 18, floated ball inside the 18. Sparrow's going to pluck it out of the air. Look forward to Velasquez. Velasquez all by himself. He'll be headed out of play by Mayer.
Nice little lesson for all short players out there. You don't have to be a short player to win a header. Sometimes you just need to give the defender a little bit of nudge so he heads it where you want to.
Ledesma brings it down with his chest. Ball on his right foot to Hanlon. Hanlon looking forward. Nice job to switch the point of the attack to Herrera. Herrera is a name we haven't really mentioned tonight. Also a player that was with the national team.
With the national team, came up through the academy, went down to New Mexico State University and decided to become a professional. And everybody's been eager to see what he has. He came up and he showed really well in preseason, was one of the fittest guys on the team for RSL, and then he got injured. So now he's got to find that preseason fitness that he had and get that confidence back on the ball.
Ball all the way back to Connor Sparrow, making his second straight start for the Monarchs.
And this wasn't the way it was last time. But Connor Sparrow seems to have a little bit more on his kicks today. So now that you've seen him kick 3 or 4 behind the defense, that is on Hurd, Mayer, and Ledesma to realize that he's probably going to play a ball in behind. So on the next one, can somebody get a jump start and take off a little bit early, kind of like they're beating the offside trap, and latch onto one of these Connor Sparrow balls because they've been very well. He's aiming them outside. They're not going towards the goalkeeper.
Herrera's going to win the header. It'll be a free kick for the Monarchs as the whistle is blown. Portillo's going to quickly set it. Looking possibly to switch the field. Acosta is wide. Monarchs going to throw.
Possibly to switch the field. That's all this kid lives for, Portillo.
Spraying balls. Does a good job of finding different players. Monarchs going to throw everybody atop the 18.
Swope Park keeping nobody forward. This is typical Peter Vermees, Paulo Nagamura. Make sure that we don't give up goals on set pieces.
Portillo will serve in for the Monarchs. He'll whip it in, can't get it across the 18. It'll be kept in by Acosta. He'll leave play and be a throw-in for Acosta. Acosta's looking forward. He's gonna wait for the Monarchs defense to get set. Acosta with it at his feet to Portillo. Portillo looking wide to Hurd. Ball's going to be kept in on the far side, defended well by Mayer, and it'll be kicked out for a throw-in just in front of the corner flag. 20 minutes into this one, and 1-0 Swope Park on a Carlton Belmar goal in the 9th minute of play. Ball's inside the box. Mare turns, takes a crack. He'll take a deflection, it was a handball called. It'll be a free kick for Swope Park.
That's amazing eyes, brother. Center referee there. Linesman didn't even see it. Called the corner kick, but apparently he had a better angle on it. Made the call. But he hasn't made too many calls. He hasn't been the star of the show yet, so I don't want to jinx him and so he starts having a bad game, but it's been good not to hear the whistle very much.
I'd like to welcome all those of you tuning in tonight on ESPN Plus or locally on KMYU. Colton Storms moving forward. He's inside the 18, ball to the back post. Herrera's there. Swope Park keeps it in. Hurd to Portillo. Monarchs going to relieve some pressure and look to move forward. Barre tries to settle it. Back to Hurd. Hurd gets it tangled under his feet, and Swope Park will win possession.
I mean, that came to nothing, but as Storm's coming through, he reels back, and his hands are not in a natural position. They're outside of his face. It hits his hand, and it goes to a positive play for him. I think that definitely should have been called a handball, and gladly for the Monarchs, it didn't end up in a goal and costing them.
Sebastian Velasquez goes down under a challenge, and he'll win the free kick. Ledesma with the ball. Back to Acosta. I think quite a few players slip on this pitch. They water it down quite nicely before the game, and sometimes artificial turf, when it gets that way, gets quite slippery.
Well, they pour a lot of rubber on it when it first starts out, so you got to wait for the rubber to kind of start moving its way around. So a lot of it's still sitting on top. It gets wet and it gets a little slippery. So you can expect slips more at the beginning of the first half, beginning of the second half. But as it starts, getting a little hotter and dries out, they'll probably find their feet a little bit better, I would say.
Brad Evans inside his own half, looking forward to Storm. Passes just behind him, and he'll go out for a Monarchs throw-in. Ledesma quickly takes it. Back to Portillo. Portillo back to Sparrow. Swope Park with a nice high line so far in this one, applying a lot of pressure on the back four of the Monarchs.
Yeah. Doing little things like Ledesma just did, though, this is something that you shouldn't do, is taking a throw-in right there, in his own half. Give that to Denny Acosta, who's standing right next to him, because now he has nobody to throw back to. And then he throws it in Portillo. Portillo doesn't have Denny Acosta to play back to clear it. So those little things, those are the tiny little things. And then they get, this pressure that's on them right now. This is the reason.
Sometimes that's the learning stage of these players. Definitely one of the reasons why he's up playing with the Monarchs right now. From the academy, getting a chance to play and have some meaningful minutes. Monarchs giveaway. Herrera does a nice job to track back and win the ball for the Monarchs. Inside, bad giveaway. Opportunity for Swope Park. And a whiff there by Kuzain. The Monarchs going to go forward. Ledesma with the ball at his feet. He's going to cut inside. Picks up his head. Looking to Velasquez. Velasquez just outside the area. He'll cut back. Ledesma's to his right. He'll play it wide to Ledesma. Ledesma cuts back and will win a corner kick for the Monarchs here. Their first of the match.
Great work there by Ledesma. It looked like it was a little bit of a bad step there from Storm. He realized it a little bit late. Then Acosta gets the ball, plays a nice ball out to Ledesma. He makes a nice darting run, and you see Hurd coming across. That's why when Sebastian Velasquez got the ball, everything was within 10 yards. It almost looked like a small possession game. But if Hurd had gotten played through, I'm not saying he shouldn't make those runs, because he's been making a lot of great runs so far. But he makes that run in. As soon as he doesn't get it, pull back out and give him an option again.
Sebastian Velasquez will stand over the corner, asking for some distance. Portillo's there with him. Velasquez will get it back. He has it on his left foot. He'll cut. Nice little chop there. Dashing, diving in, and a goal! Sebastian Velasquez with the goal here in the 24th minute of play to level things up.
One of the best players in all of USL, and nobody steps to him. And when they step to him, it's a half step. It's not a convincing step. And he weaves himself inside. He cuts right here, just at the top of the box. And after he cuts right, he realizes he's got nowhere to go. There's good second pressure being pulled over from the other. There's good pressure from Didic that comes in behind him. And he cuts inside that quality fake that he always has. And I got to get rid of it. And he just does a little bit. And sometimes when that box is so congested, you get that lucky deflection and it just pops in back post. 1-1.
That's how you level things up. We're getting a second replay look at that one. Takes a deflection off the head.
And it just takes it up over the goalkeeper, and there's nothing he can do about it. Still Zendejas was left in no man's land.
Still believe that will be credited for a Sebastian Velasquez goal, even though it took a deflection. Really couldn't do much about that ball coming up towards your head.
I used to love deflection goals. Used to love them.
Chad living on the deflection goals. Goal scorer in his own right.
Yeah. Anybody ask you? Yeah, I scored that goal. Absolutely.
Any way to level things up here. 1-1. What's been an exciting game so far. Both sides getting opportunities and both teams having capitalized on one opportunity each.
I mean, there's good spells of possession. I would say that Swope Park Rangers definitely has the better possession right now. They've been passing in the back a lot better, and Swope Park has really pushed up their defense when RSL has the ball, making it really hard for them to play out. They've actually had to turn into more of a long ball playing team as of right now. And it's kind of worked out for them. They got great speed in Hurd, and Ledesma, as crafty as can be. Sebastian Velasquez running the point and just being able to pick it out. Storm and Maher are just getting forward and leaving those spaces open in the back. Storm more than Maher.
Portillo getting a talking to, as you'll see that shot. These conversations can be quite lively. A lot of times as a player trying to mention that, no, that's not how it happens. Pleading your case.
The only thing moving faster than their hands is their mouths, and that's only going to get you into trouble.
Descent's one of those that gets a lot of people in trouble. Brad Evans, he'll pick up his head. Looking forward to Belmar. Monarchs need to be careful. Storm will settle. Storm and Belmar. Belmar cuts in, or excuse me, Storm cuts in. Swope Park with it. A lot of numbers forward. Back to Evans to Storm. Storm's gonna clip it in. Looking, and Sparrow read that well to come off his line. He'll quickly play it forward, looking for Mare. Mare's gonna run forward, takes a jump. Catches the ball slightly, but will go all the way back to Zendejas.
Don't think he knew much about it. I think he kind of hit the back of his head as he was trying to face guard the defender there. But sometimes that works out in your favor, and most times if it actually does work out in your favor, the referee calls it back.
Hussein over to Evans. Evans has been playing a nice balls tonight. Acosta, nice challenge there. Threw some effort forward. Portillo will play it forward to Mare. Mare's in a foot chase with Belmar, and Belmar just blows past him there.
Looks like being in a foot chase with Usain Bolt. Really well done there by Mare, though, to win the throw-in. Belmar thought he had done all the work, chased him down. Mare had worked too hard. That's a big time play by Mare.
Monarchs have now settled into this match. First 10 or so. Swope Park controlled. Herrera takes a deflection. Swope Park gonna try to counter. Wilson. Nice little dummy there.
If he had Belmar's speed, he probably would have caught up to it. But on this turf, like we talked about last game, everything just runs out.
Portillo looking for Ledesma. Ledesma is going to be flagged off, and he'll let that one roll out for a throw-in on the on the near side.
Kind of going too north and south. Learn to arc your runs in behind, and as he arcs those runs in behind, Portillo will find him. He doesn't need to worry about that. The only thing you need to worry about with a player like Portillo, with the way he can service the ball, is to make sure that your timing is good and then you're in the right spot when you need to be.
Velasquez will apply pressure. Hurd as well. Be kept in by Barry. Swope Park moving forward.
And I see a lot of KC in Swope Park, and they really like the way they play, like the way they press. They're aggressive, even away from home. It didn't really cost them. They ended up getting scored up on a set piece, but they haven't given away too many golden chances playing this high of a line against a very good Monarchs team.
Monarchs, something they'll need to recognize is that high line. Hopefully a conversation they have at halftime, able to look at playing balls up over top. Mare has some speed, but not necessarily the game of the Monarchs. But you do have speed in Hurd and Ledesma, guys that are very capable of moving forward very quickly. Herrera is going to try to keep this one in.
Great turn there by Hanlon to switch the field.
Does a good job. Quickly taken from the Monarchs. Velasquez finds a pocket of space. He'll pick up his head. Look towards Ledesma, but nothing there. Acosta, a little bit behind Hanlon. Sebastian Velasquez will take the giveaway. He's looking forward, ball with it. Looking. Hurd takes a crack, taken down inside the area. Looked to be a fair challenge by Kuzain.
Definitely looked to be a fair challenge, but a very hard challenge, and a challenge that needed to be made because it looked like Hurd was about ready to reel back with his left foot. Great feet there. He looked like he'd overran it again. Sebastian plays it just a little bit behind him, and he picks it up, takes 2 good touches, and just great recovery there. I think it was maybe Kuzain that came back there and did a great job to interrupt that shot, because I thought that was destined for at least a shot on goal, if not the back of the net.
Hurd's up and having shaken it off. 31st minute of play. Both teams taking a chance to get a touch of water. Hot night here in the 80s, slowly cooling down into the 70s.
It's always more the away team than it is the home team, though.
And definitely something you have to get acclimated to.
You and I are sweating up here, so it must be warm.
If you're sweating, then it's real bad. I wear 2 shirts.
You said I'm not a hard worker up here? Just sweating my day.
No, I just sweat for free. It happens nonstop throughout the day.
Hanlon wins it for the Monarchs. He'll slow things up and play it back to Herrera. Monarchs going to play it along their back line. Ryden forward to Ledesma. Not a great ball from Ryden there. Played it behind Ledesma. Ledesma's going to win it back, and it will be taken down by Storm. Play on, advantage for the Monarchs. Mare, he's looking forward to Hurd. Plays it just in front of him. Hurd was in a good situation there. Still inside the 18 to Herrera. Herrera takes a deflection. Velasquez will find it. He'll cut back. Nice job to still keep it at his feet. And Brad Evans will clean it up for Swope Park. Swope Park trying to counter. Belmar. Back to Evans.
Can really start to see it happening. It's happened a few times. Hurd is really just making that run in and causing Maher to follow him every single time. And Maher is starting to respect that run so much that he's actually coming inside without Hurd actually having to do any work. Hurd finds himself perfectly on the outside there. Maher, Ledesma does a great job to win it. Maher dribbles up, plays a ball outside, and on the turf just keeps running a little bit. He plays that a little bit shorter. Hurd's going to have a great chance on goal like he did in the first 10 minutes, and maybe this one he would have had a better result.
Both teams having opportunities, become a little more physical here in the last few. Ryden defending. Wilson, or excuse me, Harris. Wilson Harris. Whew. I struggle getting that name out of my mouth tonight.
I think Belmar thought he was going to have much more of a better day today, or I guess a happier day, let's say, because he scored that goal so early.
Mare, nice job to win the ball away from Evans. Sebastian Velasquez with him. Mare to Velasquez. Velasquez cuts. And the shot takes a deflection. Golden opportunity for the Monarchs. Left out to dry.
Those are the mistakes that you have to capitalize on. You have to capitalize on. Mare runs up, but it's kind of more of a cautious run up. He doesn't want to over dribble. He doesn't want to lose this great ball that he just won. As he dribbles up here, he's not thinking it's going to be me. It's going to be me. It's going to be me. He needs to actually draw that defender in to leave Sebastian open. If he doesn't draw him in, then drag it to your left and have a shot yourself. Velasquez is never going to say anything to him about not taking a chance there. Opportunity wasted.
Corner kick for the Monarchs, Portillo. Portillo will bend it in, looking for Ryden, takes a deflection, and he'll be called for the foul inside the 18. Brad Evans went down. And, you know, we have to go back to that play. It all started with Mare picking the pockets of Brad Evans. Brad Evans went to turn, did not see that Mare was right there. Mare kind of collided with him, possibly could have been called a foul, but would have been a tough call on Mare, and Mare did a good job to go forward. Velasquez just couldn't finish.
A little bit too lackadaisical there from Brad Evans. He knows that he can't do that. Would have been a mistake on him. He definitely got let off the hook there by Mare, by his indecision making. It's one thing to know that you're going to play Sebastian there, but you got to have a backup plan. You got to go with a little bit more speed to actually convince the defender that you're not going to pass that ball.
Zendejas played it forward to Evans. Evans wasn't there in time. Excuse me. Yeah, correct. Getting caught up in my own words watching the game play. It'll be a throw in for Colton Storm.
RSL definitely finding a little bit more joy here in the second part of the first half. Starting to really find their footing. Nothing's been in behind like it was early on. They figured out the speed.
very fast speed that Swope Park Rangers actually has up top, and really just led to nothing in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Big win tonight for Sporting Kansas City as they get the 2-0 victory against Atlanta. First team to shut out Atlanta in a regular season match at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Big win for them tonight.
It's a great result. 50,000 people, I'm probably sure, even still showed up, even though it's a weekday game at 7 o'clock. Pretty good turnout here. It's, actually, considering the fact that the Utah Royals also have a game at Rio Tinto. A lot of people like going to Rio Tinto. Some people haven't been out here yet. If you haven't been out here yet, you have to get out here and see this place. It's a beautiful complex and facility that Deloitte's built.
$78 million facility here in Harriman. I believe 10 fields. I'd have to go back and look at some of my notes. But a beautiful double field inside, training field for both teams, plus the academy. For all three teams, Royals, Monarchs, and Real Salt Lake, plus the academy.
And a great school to go with it. We got to mention the school as well. It's not all soccer here, folks.
Deloitte, I got to mention this in the last game, but I'll mention it again. Deloitte Hansen talked about that school, him wanting it to be the Harvard of soccer. Nice overlapping run there by Acosta. Acosta, he'll play it forward with his left foot, looking to Hurd. Hurd's going to get under the end of it. Still inside the 18 to Ledesma. Ledesma, shot! Big save there by Zendejas. And Ledesma there showed some power and looked to find his first professional goal and his first professional start.
Well, it's the first time we're really seeing Danny Acosta get some joy up the left side, and he whips in an unbelievable ball. Probably meant more for Ledesma. Hurd gets onto it quick, realizes Ledesma's still wide open, takes a good first touch, sets himself up nicely, hits it straight at Zendejas, though. A save that he should be making, but a good save from Zendejas nonetheless.
Mare needs to be careful. Already sitting on a yellow, getting told by the center referee to be smart.
In which he has to be, he has that Latin American blood. He plays with fire. He plays with a lot of passion. That's what Mark Briggs loves about him. But can he keep it in check? You have a yellow card, and now you have to be cautious. You have to be careful. You don't want to put your team in that kind of a situation where they have to play down again like they did when Charlie Adams came off. You don't want to have someone to come off and be the hero, even though I'm sure that Chandler Hoffman would love to play that role.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Hoffman early in this match. Storm's going to run on the end of it. He'll stay onside. Will be flagged off late. I don't know why that flag didn't go up until that point.
And the offside occurs 20 yards up the field, so I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to take this. I guess I'll take it right back there. That was definitely a very late call. Good ball there, though, from Didic.
39th minute of play. This Western Conference battle, both teams knotted up with a goal.
Harris almost playing on top of the 18. It's never too far for him to run. Great ball there from Connor Sparrow. You can see that all that early pressure, he's settled in and done well with his feet, so his confidence is brewing right now. He's been playing some good balls, not just long balls forward.
Mare goes down under a challenge. He's looking for something, needs to play and move forward, keep his head at this point. Acosta, he'll settle. Ledesma's going to cut in.
If you're in the referee's book, though, and he's just had a word with you, even if you just got the call, don't ask for it. Just say thank you and try and get out of his head. Try and get out of his spotlight, because Mayer is definitely in his spotlight.
Ledesma taken down, and it'll be a free kick for the Monarchs. Herrera will check back just across the midfield stripe, looking forward to Hurd. Plays it forward to Herrera. Nice job defending by Swope Park. Wilson Harris will take a deflection. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs inside of their own half. We're getting late here in the first half. Portillo.
Is that 5 minutes when they were up 1-0 last time, and they kind of lost their concentration a little bit, and gave up that late goal in the first half to OCSC. So now it's keep that concentration, but can now we get that goal?
Velasquez looking forward to Hurd. Hurd's looks like he gets on the end of it.
And not we is what I meant, but the Monarchs can. I was putting myself in their shoes. Sorry, and the Monarchs get that goal.
Chad still with that mind of the player
Well, I haven't officially retired yet, so it's hard to really just completely get it out of my system. I'm sure one day it'll happen when I can't sit down properly anymore.
We're playing the 30 and over league here in Utah. Men's league for the win.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's a pretty good league.
Pretty good league?
Well, I'm not there yet. I'm still under the 30 mark, so.
That's why I don't talk to you about age.
I'm not born in 2002, so you don't have to worry. Swope Park with a Diddick. Over to Evans. Monarchs applying a little bit of pressure up top.
Someone tell Mayer that he can go there. They have it all sewed up here on the left side as he's coming around. Needs to round off his run and cut that pass off back to the other center back. Make Brad Evans come up here on the right side. Let's see if he does it this time.
Brad Evans on the right side calling for Kusain. Kusain pulled the defender forward. Hurd's going to send a challenge forward. Monarchs almost win that one in the midfield.
But look how much more dangerous that ball is for Brad Evans to play across. It allows her to step up and create that pressure and almost win the ball in the midfield because of it.
Busio to Belmar. Belmar trying to get in behind the defense of the Monarchs. Done a good job so far with the lone goal for Swope Park. Colton Storm be out in front of him, and it'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs.
Barry's been very quiet this game. Hasn't been a whole lot around that left side, and Acosta's really handled Belmar since his goal very well. You would think that Belmar would have that physical advantage just based on his size, but Danny Acosta is such a tough kid and such a tough player that he really cancels out all that muscle that Belmar has.
Busio to Kusain. Kusain picks up his head. Over to Barry. He'll go long for Swope Park. Monarchs playing with fire here. Belmar running forward. Looked to be a scarier play than it was. Ryden knew that Belmar was there.
I can't say that was Ryden's fault, or not Ryden's fault, sorry, but Gallagher's fault. He played a good ball across it. As it's coming across, Ryden is backing up into it, expecting there to be more room.
Hurd with a great chest trap there. He'll bring it down, looking for Mare. Takes a deflection. It'll be a corner kick for the Monarchs here in the 43rd minute of play.
And that's a great ball from Hurd, because if you don't see anybody in the box, play that. Don't play just a blind ball into the box in the air and just hope that somebody will get on the end of it. Play a ball behind. The defenders have to face their own goal. Sometimes you get stuff like what just happened, but instead of going out for a corner, it might go into the back of the net from a defender trying to reach and make sure that he doesn't, nothing comes across his box.
A deflection into the back of the net is still a goal.
Still a goal.
Portillo over there with Ledesma just to his right. Portillo is going to swing in with his right foot, looking back post to Ryden, and a goal! Kalen Ryden in the 44th minute of play.
In the right in place at the right in time. This guy, oh my gosh. I want to say most games that we actually call, he ends up scoring in. A great ball in, two over the ball, Ledesma and Portillo. Portillo swings in a perfect ball into the back post. Ryden gets that little separation he needs, and sometimes you don't know it as a defender, but that ball just kind of hangs up a little bit more and a little bit more. And a nice little in-swing into the back post. Keeper can't come for it. Defender loses it. I think just loses the height of it, to be honest, but it doesn't fool Ryden at all. And what a powerful, great attacking header from Ryden, right into the bottom right-hand corner by the goalkeeper's feet. Very tough for him to get down. 2-1, Monarchs.
Good goal before the half for the Monarchs.
Just like we were saying, it's so important to get that goal instead. And it seems like they've learned their lesson from last week, which is great. Finding it back there, Danny Acosta just really not giving Belmar any room in behind like he was in the beginning of the game. Doesn't take him long to figure people out.
Really seems like he found his steps in this game. Wasn't very comfortable to start out the game. Looked a little off. Didn't seem to quite mesh with the back line. Belmar found a goal. But since that moment, he's really found his stride. Monarchs with a 2-1 lead here. We enter the 45th minute of play.
What a great response coming from 1-0 down early on, too. And Swope Park having the better of the possession really woke them up, it seems. Came back, scored 2 great goals. We'll see. There's going to be 2 minutes at a time. Let's see if they can carry it on to the half.
Swope Park moving forward. Barry there. Barry didn't get much of that one. We mentioned 2 minutes of stoppage time announced.
I don't think I can remember the last time Harris touched the ball, to be honest.
Really, it's been Belmar up top.
They've been coming down the right side, and you can see that that's the way they like to attack. They want to attack with their strong guy. That's why Belmar has 8 goals and 2 assists, and nobody else has above 2. They attack from one side, but can also make it very easy for the Monarchs to choose a defensive game plan. I'm sure Briggs focused on him in all of his pregame talks.
Mare will go down under the challenge of Didic, and Monarchs will slow things up here. As the first half comes to a close here momentarily.
Yeah, Briggs is saying you've done a great job getting back in at 2-1. Now can the Monarchs just play it safe? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go out and try and score a goal. The only thing you got to try and do is not give up a goal.
Beautiful ball there by Connor Sparrow right to the foot of Mare. Mare unable to collect. Brad Evans with it, the captain, looking forward to Belmar. Belmar making a nice run, but Sparrow there off his line.
Not making that same mistake twice, apparently.
Herrera, he'll pick up his head. He'll go forward. He's going to show his wheels. He's got Hurd out wide. Hurd will slow things up. Velasquez to Portillo. Back to Velasquez. Velasquez is going to go forward now. Monarchs content holding possession here in the waning moments of the first half.
Little shirt tug there that probably could have been called. Referee just decided to keep his whistle in his pocket, and that's halftime.
45 minutes of soccer are through here at Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs take a 2-1 lead to the locker room on goals by Velasquez and Ryden.
No, really good first half. As I said before, to get that, to concede that early goal and the run of play and to really find themselves, the players that are filling in for the regular starters, coming in, doing a really great job. Hurd's had a lot of pleasure out there on that right side, a lot of freedom, a lot of joy. He had a great chance early on. Could be more, could be less, but I think that they're definitely happy and satisfied with the 2-1 lead going into halftime.
Kalen Ryden with his 3rd goal of the season to now lead the Monarchs with 3 goals.
That's a little bit surprising, but if you watch him play, it's not as surprising as it sounds. He's a defender, but he has a lot of attacking prowess to his game.
Portillo with his 3rd assist. As we'll take a break here at Zions Bank Stadium and be back with Real Monarchs General Manager Dan Egner here at halftime.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of The Breakdown. Really excited to analyze the plays of the week this week. We even have an ESPN Sports Center #1 in the top 10. I hope you enjoy.
Great little move there from Cooper, sends it across, it's Jamal Johnson.
The first play from Jamal Johnson here is his goal. If you watch when he picks the ball up, he has almost like a 8 to 10 meter radius around him, and that's created by his movement and his space. You know, he's recognized that when he's going into the box, that he doesn't need to make the first post run, he doesn't need to make the far post run. It's an extremely difficult finish, and it's coming across his body, and he makes extremely good contact on the ball. He uses the pace of the cross and slots it right into the corner.
Have a completely open view of what's happening. Oh my goodness. What a goal!
I don't think there's any doubt as to why this was the #1 on the ESPN Sports Center. It's a very special thing for a player to see a goalkeeper off a line, especially from a goal kick, because he's not expecting the ball to bounce to him, especially the way it bounced to him. So when the ball did bounce to him, I think that he just thinks, why not? And he's just showing everyone there is the technique that he has, but he also showed me what I feel as though is the mentality of a player, which is something that we've not seen yet this season. I think it's fantastic.
Anything. Francois takes it away, plays it back, Brett holds, scores!
Yes, what a great pullback.
Francois' defensive play here is what creates the goal. You know, his teammate loses the ball, he takes a bad touch, but he doesn't give up on it, and he persists, and his reaction to the turnover is fantastic. And then Brett can either do one or two things. He can take a touch or he can finish it first time. The defender thinks he's going to take a first time shot, And that's what then allows him to have the composure to relax, take the touch, and it's a great finish.
Manila makes a meal out of that one. Now Ledesma on the breakaway, and it's 3-0 as he chips Maxime Crepeau.
This goal for Cincinnati in the 76th minute is a lot about anticipation for Ledesma. The defender makes a great decision here to play the ball in behind, and when the Ottawa defender makes the mistake, and again he anticipates the mistake, maybe if it was 0-0 at the time and he was going on to win the game or try and win the game, he might have taken a touch close to the keeper. But with the way they were playing, I completely understand why he's taken the first time finish. Thank you for watching the breakdown on week 7. As you can see, some fantastic goals, some fantastic plays, and I've really enjoyed analysing them. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Perfect, thank you.
Side blocked out of harm's way, allows Restrepo to get back in. Casada has a chance. What a save by Restrepo. It was another fantastic save by Diego Restrepo.
This one delivered in dangerously to the penalty area. Great save by Maxime Crepeau off that close range header.
Oh my goodness, that was an absolute terrific save, Graham.
Cashier from distance. Pushed up and over the crossbar. A good look, and that one had eyes for the back of the net.
Gets away from his defender, now sends it in towards goal. Headed save, Marcinkowski. Rebound won't go either, and Reno able to clear it away. Comes to Walker. Walker will have a go! It's a great save by Williams to pop it over the bar. Rodolfo's about to get under this ball in the area. He does. Nice little back pass, Johnson, and the equalizer evens the game at 1. Jamal Johnson.
You can just sit on this.
4th goal of the season so far.
Here's the Roughnecks, though. Best run that
Is it all Monarchs, or do you have like a baby on the way or something?
Scoring. Pass slid away. Now a chance. A rip is in. Efrain Alvarez!
He's got my man of the match for sure.
Looking forward, Mare, he's onside. Monarchs have a chance. Mare, shot and goal! Claude Mare in the 91st minute of play!
Down at the same point in time, he just cuts the back of his heel.
Oh, what a ball here! It's McLaughlin!
We're back here live at Zions Bank Stadium. 2-1 Monarchs lead here on goals. They were beautiful by the team. We're here with general manager of the Real Monarchs. I don't mean to rob you of that glory. Yeah. General manager of the Real Monarchs, Dan Egner. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks, man.
Dan, let's jump right into it. One of the conversations you and I were having a few minutes ago was talking about the depth of this squad. Tonight, you're noticing that depth. All of the front 3 up top for the Monarchs are on the bench.
Yeah, and just weren't quite deep enough. Got some injuries. Just focus on this year. Staff has done a good job rotating the squad out. Todd in Seattle. We haven't had the same starting 11 in any of our games. And rollout has the ability and the expectation to win against any team in this league. And so far, we've seen it. And we couldn't be prouder of the staff for handling these guys and each and every player for stepping up when it's their time.
So talk a little bit about the mindset that you guys have to have in the preseason, in the offseason as well as you're setting up this squad, knowing that there's going to be times in this season that are going to be congested. We're seeing this is the third of 4 home games in a 2-week stretch.
Yeah. One thing we noticed in the last 18 months with USL is there's going to be stretches where you have a lot of games. And when you're an MLS USL team like us, you're going to catch injuries on the USL side and the MLS side. So you need guys who can play and step in at any time. And, it took us a little bit of time to figure that out. We feel like we've corrected it. And, we're seeing it so far this year.
But even now, you have guys like Ledesma stepping up from the academy. So you have all the 3 teams in one place. So you're pulling people down from RSL, but picking people up from the academy. And he's shown to be a real bright spot and has a real bright future.
He does. And he's not the only one. And that's the biggest benefit of having those guys live 30 seconds from the stadium is they're involved in training. The guys who deserve it and earn it are involved in Monarchs training. And they're involved in matches. We've had 3 academy players dress this year. 2 have played. We also saw David Ochoa perform very well.
2 have started now.
Yeah, 2 have started now. And having them here, but when they were in Arizona, that just wasn't possible. They can't fly them up here to train, and it's just logistically wasn't a thing. And now it's seamless. And Mark and Martine and the academy staff talk every day. And we couldn't be happier with how things are progressing on that side of it.
Both players that have come up from the academy are being rewarded as well on the national team side, headed into camp with Tad Ramos' U20 side to face Honduras. And they've both done a good job so far integrating. I don't get to see training every day, but I know you get out often. And you said that's just a few of many.
Yeah, we've had, there's academy kids in Monarchs training almost every day. I'm not going to name them. We'll keep that a secret. But they fit in very well with the USL group that we have. They go in the locker room, they're out on the field, and they are a Monarch. There's no awkwardness, there's no hierarchy. They just slot right in, and they're a part of the team like anybody else would be.
So let's pull back the curtains a little bit. You and I also had a conversation a little bit about the roster size. Summer transfer window opens July 10th. And there's roster space and movement available. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. So we're in a fortunate position going into the summer. First off, I'll start off. We like the guys that we have 1 through 18, and are happy with all of them. But we get a couple more weeks in, and say we catch an injury, or we just feel like we're missing that piece. USL roster rules, you're allowed to have 30 professional players, and we have 18 contracted USL players. Part of that 30 includes first-team loan downs. So if you do the math right now, we keep 12 first-team players active at all times. Say we were to go pick up a piece or 2 in the summer, that puts us at 20 USL players. You still have 10 first-team players who are active at all times. So very flexible. It's very fluid. And, it's very rare that you're ever going to get more than 7 first-team players at a given time. So we really look at about 22, just to be safe, as our max on USL contracted players. But being at 18, we have that flexibility, and if we need to get a guy or 2, we have the power to do so.
I mean, I saw a lot from the outside last year, and I saw a lot of Monarchs, and I saw a lot of RSL. But what I saw with a lot of Monarchs is you guys also bring in a lot of trialists to come in all the time. College players come in, and I sometimes get confused with that they're just training with the team for the summer or whatever. But there's always players coming in. Briggs is always looking for ways. You are always looking for ways to make the team better.
Yeah, the big thing for us, especially when you're going to bring in a piece mid-year, is you sign them, they come in, they're part of the team right away. There's no preseason. We're right in the middle of things. And so the acclimation can be tough, not only to the lifestyle, because a lot of times they're a player from overseas, but just getting used to the soccer, getting used to your teammates. And by bringing them on trial, we brought 2 trialists in last year. We signed them both. Juan Mare, who started tonight, was one of those. And he was here for about 2 weeks before we signed him. And
Danny Cruz was the other one,
right? Danny we brought in straight. It was Diego Calvo from Costa Rica.
That's right.
But it gives us a chance to see the guys in this environment. Altitude's not easy. The dry heat and the desert is not easy. So we get a full picture of what we're getting into, and the player gets a picture of what they're getting into. So anytime in the summer, if we can, we're going to try to bring guys in and get a look at them.
General Manager Dan Egner, thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking the time. We're going to toss it to some first half highlights before we return with second half action. .11 that they had in the first half. Here, we'll check out the stats from the first half.
And much like we said, the bulk of the possession has been in favor of the Swope Park Rangers. Shots on target, though, goes to the Real Monarchs. They've been really working well in the counterattack ever since conceding that first goal. Juan Mera is on that yellow card, and it was a harsh yellow card. He's gotten some talking to by the referee. Needs to calm down a little bit. But so far, a very back-and-forth game. A lot of Swope Park in the very first part of it, and a lot of Monarchs in the second half. Really looking for some fireworks. Definitely expecting more goals in this second half. And will Chandler Hoffman come on and try and get his 50th goal?
Both teams have capable attacking players on the bench. Monarchs will defend that first opportunity. First ball, excuse me. Well, Hurd going to go forward. He'll go at his defender on the right channel. Ball gets caught up between his feet. Does a nice job to continue. Keeps possession. Wow. Sometimes you just have to be amazed at the ball still staying with his feet. Portillo looking wide to Ledesma. Beautiful ball there. Ledesma's going to be flagged off. Looked like he was in an onside position. Might have come from an offside to an onside position there.
Another part of the learning curve, though, you never want to be offside as that person. That is someone that nobody on the team likes. You can see the whole line. You can see what's coming across. You can see when the ball's being played at the same time. Great ball out there by Portillo on a rope. And really well done by Hurd, like you had mentioned before. Sometimes the turf actually works in your favor a little bit.
Herrera does a good job to win the ball for the Monarchs. Back to Portillo. Portillo gets around his defender, Bucio. He'll play it wide to Acosta. The outside backs of the Monarchs have played really well, except for that first 5 minutes. We'll see if that play can continue. Here's the Monarchs lead 2-1 here at the start of the second half.
Always difficult when you get a new back four and two new people. It was Marcelo Silva and Taylor Pay the other day. You know, it's just getting used to that, and sometimes that's the perfect opportunity for an opposing team to impose their will on you and score that early goal, which Swope Park and Belmar did a great job in the beginning, but a great response from Monarchs in the second half.
Swope Park has a dangerous attacking threat in Tyler Blackwood on the bench, Felipe Hernandez, Chase Minter, and Rebellion, as well as Herrera. Monarchs with, like we mentioned, their starting front three from last game of Chang, Cashier, and Hoffman sitting on the bench with the addition of Leaker, Hernandez, and Moberg.
Like we said, Hoffman still looking to kind of continue his tradition, which he probably will see with Juan Mera on a yellow card as the game progresses. Can he go 90 minutes? Probably not. So Chandler Hoffman, I think, should look to feature in this match, which will be his 40th consecutive appearance, almost 100 for the USL appearances, and he almost has 50 goals. Scoring at a 2-to-1 rate, is pretty good. Or one every 2 games is pretty good by any standard.
You'll notice one adjustment that Swope Park's made is now Belmar is sitting here on the left side, having switched, and Herrera now has the assignment of keeping an eye on Belmar.
Well, they realized that Danny Acosta wasn't going to give them any joy going down that side. He did a great job on Belmar in the first half. And pretty much you want to get your best player against what they think is their weakest defender. Aaron Herrera hasn't shown to be weak, but he also hasn't been exposed. Barry had a very difficult time with him just even getting around the ball or keeping possession of it when it came to him. So Paulo Nagamura is going to try and see if Belmar has a little bit more joy against Herrera than he did against Acosta.
Desma tried to get in behind Brad Evans. Brad Evans, nice veteran move there. Velasquez, he'll go forward. Not many options in front of him. Ledesma out wide. Ledesma's going to cut in. He's just outside the 18. Ball pulled off his foot by Hussein. Hamlin there with a nice wall pass off the defender. Gallagher looking out wide to Hurd. Herrera's going to make the overlap. Looking inside the 18, kept in. Ledesma, top of the 18, takes a crack and a deflection, had the keeper sprawling.
I love Gallagher's step there. He takes a great first touch, and he takes what is given to him, and he dribbles up about 20 yards and plays a great ball out to Hurd, but then he doesn't come back. He stays in there. The Monarchs know that they can have good cover there. Briggs has set him up in such a way where if somebody goes forward, you come back. And that was really well done. It was a great ball in by Hurd. Almost got on the end of it. Gallagher, get back to your spot. Find your foursome.
Swope Park, Didick to Mayer. Back to Didick. Zendejas playing in his fourth game. One clean sheet. Won't have a clean sheet tonight. And Swope Park yet to be held scoreless on the 2018 season, including tonight.
They seem to score a lot of goals early on in the season. Have kind of dried out. They haven't scored more than 2 goals in the last few weeks, I feel. But I'm sure the Monarchs will want them to keep that streak going tonight for sure.
Belmar still with it outside the 18. Gallagher does a nice job to dispossess them. Swope Park defended by Ledesma. Ledesma goes to ground. Nice win there, and he'll flick it out of play. Smartly flick it out of play.
Yeah,
for a corner kick.
Intelligent move. You're always going to do some things that are, beyond a 16-year-old, and you're going to do some things that are a little bit too early for a 16-year-old. So, really smart play there. If he tries to get it, it probably squirts out to the forward there, and he has more joy.
Busio, he'll take it. Playing it back post. Acosta will win the header. Belmar was there. Two former Monarchs on the bench tonight for Swope Park, Herrera and Minter.
And Martin, the academy director, really just had pretty much nothing but great stuff to say about Carlos Herrera, who was brought up in the academy program through RSL.
Throw in it. It'll go out of play, and it'll be a throw in for the Monarchs. On a Swope Park's bench, Pablo Nagamura in his first season for Swope Park. Mark Briggs in his second season, his first complete season. I almost feel bad saying first complete season. Last season, he coached all but one game for the Monarchs. The man in charge with Real Salt Lake.
Great switch of play.
Won the first game for the Monarchs of the 2017 season. Hurd, he'll cut to the end line, looking to cross it in over everybody's head. Ledesma will keep it in. Ledesma's going to have a chance to serve. Evans, high in the air. Velasquez there, but Evans clears.
Everybody plays, a position just a little bit differently, but I really like the way Hurd kind of brings more of an Englishman type winger to his role, more of kind of like a Giggs type player. He really just likes to get the ball and run at that outside back often, and he does a really good job. Get the ball to the byline, serve crosses in, and he's had crosses that have just gone just a little bit too high. If he can find somebody at the near post or just kind of level it out a little bit, I think he'll find a little bit more joy, but he's been fantastic so far tonight.
Both coaches with their benches up and warming up. Swope Parks is kind of a little bit more content to stretch and hang out. Monarchs are actively working.
I'm very sorry to say, but that was Christian Herrera, not Carlos Herrera. Sorry about that, Christian.
Swope Park in the Monarchs half. Back to Evans and Didick at midfield. Demare. Belmar defended by Herrera. Herrera doing a nice job of not letting him turn. Belmar's going to beat you with his speed. I'm sure that was a comment mentioned by head coach Mark Briggs at halftime.
As soon as you see the switch, I'm sure Briggs said something, but it's nothing that needs to be said. You see his speed on display. It's been here since minute 1, but ever since Danny Acosta figured out, hey, if I just keep him in front of me, I'll be fine. It's, he's been pretty much shut out right there, and just real physical play there from Danny Acosta. That's what I'm talking about. He's a very tough kid.
Something that he didn't look like he had the confidence of in the first couple minutes, but then you realized he knew he could body up with Belmar, and has done a good job here from that point on.
Acosta's definitely a game player.
Bucios with a nice curling shot and an effort just wide.
Just wide. And I want to say a gamer, but I don't think enough people will get it. Is when I say gamer, I mean he really steps up for games. Even if during that whole week of practice, it doesn't seem like he's really into it. He's really involved. But when that game starts and when that 90 minutes, that referee blows that whistle, he's all about it, and he's fully invested in what he's doing.
What dangerous ball there played by Gallagher. Hanlon able to get on the end of it. Portillo will slow things up, do a nice little turn.
Really well done there.
And get himself out of pressure. Acosta's going forward. Ledesma to his right, to his left. Ledesma with it. He'll spin. Looking forward to Acosta. Will be knocked off the ball. Ledesma still there battling.
Good group defending there from the Swope Park Rangers.
Monarchs flying all over here.
Great spot there from Aaron Herrera to pick that ball up and intercept it.
Herrera out wide to Hurd. Hurd clipped, takes a shot and a goal! Juan Mare with the shot and a goal.
Juan Mare, 2 goals in 2 games. This one was much easier than the one he scored against OCSC for the winner, but being in that right spot, just being at that back post, filling up a spot that you actually need to be at. You made a great near post run. Aaron Herrera makes a great near post run, plays the ball out wide, then he plays the ball inside. That near post, as I was talking about, Herrera just glances it to the far post, and Juan Mare is held onside by Mar, who's trying to defend Hurd's cross. Great ball, low into that near post. Herrera makes a great run from his right back spot, started in a great position to pick that ball up, and Herrera flicks it to Juan Mare. Thank you very much for coming. 3-1 Monarchs.
Juan Mare with the goal there. Assist credited to Herrera with the nice flick on, but in the USL, we'll have the 2 assists given. I believe Hurd will be credited with that assist. Nice ball in from Hurd. Monarchs going to make an adjustment here. Their first of the match, Hernandez will be coming on shortly. On the flip side, Swope Park going to make a change and bring on the former Monarch, Chase Minter.
Minter, he was an Energizer Bunny of sorts. He has a tireless engine, and he's the type of player that'll come on and chase absolutely everything down. And I'm sure he'd love to get some glory, either individually or probably more importantly as a team against his old team, the Monarchs.
Great player. Saw him speaking with a few Monarchs players before the match. A couple of his former teammates, Brody and Gallagher. Hussein represented the U15, or excuse me, the U17 national team. As Barry was there on the ball. Hussein to Bucios. Out wide to Mare. Defended by Herrera. Herrera's going to go to grounds. It'll be caught in the chest of Connor Sparrow.
Much better build-up there from Swope Park Rangers. Bunch of 5-10-yard passes interlinking between in the opponent's defensive half and their attacking half. Really done a good job, but Aaron Herrera does a good job to lead it to the outline. It makes it very easy for Connor Sparrow just to collect and disperse.
Double substitution coming here at the next dead ball. Mare keeps
What
it
a
in.
touch.
Looking forward to Hurd. Hurd inside the 18. Hurd looking back post. Ledesma was nowhere to be found. Marked well by the defense of Swope Park.
I don't want it to be understated how good of a touch that was from Ron Mayer to keep that from going out of bounds, but to also keep it close to himself, away from the defender. Great ball into Hurd, who's just been causing troubles with his speed all game. Able to get inside finally and get a shot off rather than a cross.
Two other games on slate tonight in the USL. Fresno and RGV. Shot there by Belmar.
He really pulls out of that one. It's not a convincing shot. It was going to be the keepers all day. Drifts it right at him. He's pulling away, falling away. No follow through. He'll be disappointed with that effort.
Herrera going to track back. Opportunity for Swope Park. Shot and a deflection. The flag will be up on the far side. It'll be an offsides call on Swope Park. Substitutions coming for both sides. Looks like the Monarchs are going to make a substitution. Jose Hernandez is going to enter the match in the 59th minute of play for Karsten Hanlon.
RSL contracted player, scored his first goal last year against the San Jose Earthquakes. Great in a way defeated, 2-1. Hasn't played a whole lot, featured a whole lot this year, but these are the chances that he needs to capitalize on and show the Mike Pecky in RSL that he deserves to be on the 18. These are all important minutes for him.
Minter going to come on for Bucios, the 15-year-old. With a pretty good 59 minutes of action tonight for Swope Park.
Definitely doesn't look 15. Plays much bigger than that.
Ball's up in the air. Brad Evans is going to score an own goal, and the Monarchs are going to take a 4-1 lead.
That might be the nail in the coffin right there. Brad Evans, very uncharacteristic. Obviously, he thought that the keeper was much closer to him than he was, and just puts a little bit too much on his header and scores a very unfortunate own goal. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be proud of giving up 4 goals, but he's definitely not going to be happy to be on the score sheet for the wrong team on this one. Very bad mistake here.
So we'll get a second look at it. He heads it just a lot higher. Keeper Zendejas didn't look like he was ready for the header to come back, and it was a nice arcing ball over his head.
Great pressure there, though, from Ledesma. That's why you never give on a play. You never know what can happen. Sometimes you aren't going to be the person that scores, but he does just enough to put Brad Evans under that pressure to make him feel that he needed to get the ball back to his keeper quicker. And it just turns out really well for the Monarchs, 4-1, and they're starting to run away with this game.
Brad Evans with his second big mistake tonight. First of the match, he almost caused a goal early on as Mare was able to harass him, steal the ball from him, and a Sebastian Velasquez shot was saved by Zendejas early on in the match.
Yeah, he's not having the typical Brad Evans game that you're probably used to seeing, the definite Seattle Sounders are used to seeing. Yeah, but he's coming back from injury. He's trying to find his feet again. And this can always be tough, especially when you play on turf field, which I'm sure he doesn't like to play anymore. He's out at KC. They have great facilities out there, and even a better stadium.
Ledesma finally sees his number called here in the 60th minute of play. In his first professional start, Richard Ledesma will go 60 minutes of play before he heads off to join Tab Ramos in his U20 side to face Honduras later in the month.
Really well done. Best of luck to him and the youth national team and Tab Ramos against Honduras coming up here. He's going to be replaced by Chang, who's been a stalwart, just an absolute rock for this team going forward and coming back. This guy's a tireless work engine. Being out 4-1, he's going to have a little bit more joy going forward. Fully expect to see him either get close to the score sheet or on the score sheet.
Chang, 1 goal, 4 assists on the season. USL Team of the Week this week for his performance of a goal and assist last game on the weekend against Orange County. Monarchs having made 2 substitutions tonight with 1 remaining. Again, we'd like to thank all those of you tuning in tonight on ESPN Plus, whether you're here local, maybe in Kansas City, Overland Park, or anywhere else around the country. As well as those here locally tuning in on KMYU. Bear moving forward. He'll play a ball in, takes a deflection off Gallagher, and Herrera is able to keep it in. Herrera playing it high and long.
It's a great clearance, over clearing that ball and not giving it a reason for the defender just to send something back in.
Wilson, nice little touch there. Out wide to Belmar. Belmar just in front of the corner flag. He'll pick up his head, plays it back to Minter. Minter clips it in, looking back post. No one there but Sparrow to collect.
At the 4-1 lead, you can see that the balloon is starting to deflate a little bit for the Swope Park Rangers. 1 more goal, and it'll just be the blame game being passed around by the team.
now they either are going to score a goal, they're going to give up another one, but this could turn really ugly really fast. And can they find their pride and dig deep down? I know they're tired from the OKC energy game, but now is the time where you're tested. Paulo Nagamura is going to see who's going to stay in this game and who's going to give up.
Monarchs leading 4-1 here in the 63rd minute of play. Chang there.
It just came
rude awakening to the game.
Yeah, you're in the game now. You can wake up.
Most times it takes a few minutes to get back into the game, get going.
Sometimes you get scored on one time to score 4.
Monarchs fail behind early on a 9th minute goal by Carlton Belmar, then proceeded to score in the 24th, 44th, and 55th, as well as the early 60th on an own goal.
And this is the game they've been waiting for, the breakout game where they score a lot of goals at home. It's one of those games where you wish they had done it when it was the season or the home opener here in front of 5,000 people. But these people that are here tonight are really just putting on, really enjoying a really well put on show by the Monarchs.
Jose Hernandez.
Now here comes the possession game. This is vital. This is important. Protecting leads. Great ball slip.
Mare shot just wide. Looks like it took a deflection. No deflection called, and it'll be a goal kick for Swope Park.
Really, like I said, really good connectivity within the midfield here. A lot of 10-yard passes. Great ball played in through a streak, and Mari times his run perfectly. Definitely looks like it comes off the knee of the goalkeeper, but if the goalkeeper's if Zendejas is getting a goal kick out of it, he's definitely not going to argue with the referee.
One of those that you take, especially after that own goal in the 60th minute by Brad Evans.
And Sebastian Velasquez really just seems to gel with anybody. He's such a good player and so talented. They really just, anybody that you put in front of him, I just would make runs all day in front of him because he's just so good with his feet, so gifted, and can put the ball on a dime.
Like I mentioned, 2 other games going on in the USL tonight. One underway in the 22nd minute of play, still scoreless between Fresno and RGV in the 22nd minute. And then later tonight, Los Dos against St. Louis. Minter out wide for Swope Park. Top of the 18 to Belmar. Belmar a long touch, and Monarchs are going to win possession. Jose Hernandez. Monarchs have numbers. Can they go forward? Overlapping run coming from Chang.
No outside
Chang
back.
will get it. Chang with a lot of green space in front of him. Didick in front of him. Back to Velasquez. Velasquez with it on his left foot. Out wide to Acosta. Monarchs switched the field there.
Chain makes a nice run there, but he's got no outside back to go up against, and he kind of comes in timidly against a center back that's been playing for 65 minutes, running at him hard and make him make a decision. They're down 4-1. He's been bleeding goals. I'd say that the chances you get past him is a lot higher than the chances he stops you.
Chang, nice move there. He'll take a crack. Man, the move was pretty.
Quick feet, nice quick feet. Looked like he come to a standstill. Looked like the ball was underneath him. Does a nice little adjustment right to left, puts it through. Again, goes one-on-one with the defender. Didick stands him up, doesn't dive in. He takes a shot, goes well wide, but it was a great setup. Just poor execution.
67th minute of play. Monarchs lead 4-1 here at Zions Bank Stadium. On this beautiful Wednesday night. Good crowd on hand here at Zions Bank Stadium. The doubleheader happening here in the state of Utah. Utah Royals playing at home at Rio Tinto Stadium. Belmar cuts in. He'll have a shot. Nice last-ditch effort. Challenged by Herrera. And the Monarchs dodge a bullet there.
What a great ball into a great streaking Belmar. Takes a really good first touch. And it looks like Aaron Herrera had been beat, but like we said, there is no lack of speed on the outside, and an unbelievable tackle coming in from Aaron Herrera. Goal-saving tackle for sure. Connor Sparrow will be thanking him later. As you see him come in, look at this perfectly timed tackle. That could be so costly because if he mistimes it, it could be a red card and a PK.
It's often said if you go to ground, you leave it in the ref's hands, but a good decision there made by the center referee to not call anything. It'll be a free kick for Chase Minter. He'll stand over it.
Everything that Herrera and Acosta have done, it probably pleases Mike Pecky
unbelievably to see. I'm sure he's here watching the game.
Minter. Play it with his right foot. Swope Park on top of the 18. Ball's back post. And an opportunity there for Didick. Up and over the crossbar. It'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs.
You normally want your defenders to have this ball in the air, and it was a great ball in from Minter. Just nice little chip ball, little punch ball into the back post. Comes in with his foot. It's not always going to have the joy that a forward will have with that situation, but you know, you want something a little closer to goal with the result on that.
Connor Sparrow will play it in. High and long, crossing the midfield stripe. Chang rises up. Swope Park wins the header. Settled by Minter. Portillo with a nice little two-hand shove. He knew exactly what he was doing. Ball going the opposite way and thought he could get away with it. But not a bad decision there.
Sometimes you get away with it. It's not something that's going to draw you a yellow card. It's just going to give up a free kick in a non-dangerous situation, which I'm perfectly okay with.
Blackwood. The dangerous Tyler Blackwood. Last season played for Sacramento.
Haji Berry didn't really factor into this game too much. I can't really remember anything that he did that really kind of warranted probably a start next game, but he could have been tired from the last game. You never know, these things happen, playing on turf, all these things. But just Danny Acosta and Aaron Herrera have really done a great job of just marking with the exception of the goal that Belmar scored, but really just marked him out of the game.
Barry looked good in the last couple games. Like you've mentioned, Chad didn't really make much of his opportunity tonight, but the Monarchs have done a good job frustrating everybody but Belmar so far. Minter will play it back to Hussein. Hussein with a nice looking ball, unable to reach the attacking player in Storm.
Looks like a cramp up from Danny Acosta on that jump. He did look a little weird when he came down. I think on that extension with his right foot, he just felt that thing bite him in the back of the ankle. Had that ball out. Seen him go 70 minutes. You don't want to see a young guy like this going down that early. If you want to make that sub, you want to see him go 90 minutes. I know for sure Mike Pecky wants to see him and Herrera go 90 minutes. So these are never fun, though.
Marshall Stoddard's going to make his trot across the field all the way over to check out Danny Acosta.
You might lose a left foot here, but you definitely don't lose much in enthusiasm and work rate and just sheer power, like sheer willpower that you get in Andrew Brody, who looks to be coming on for Danny.
Frustrating for the remaining attacking players in Cashier and Hoffman on the bench, as they know their number's not getting called at this point, as the third and final substitution is going to be used here momentarily, with Andrew Brody coming on to replace Danny Acosta.
Streaks are always hard to break. Juan Mayer's going to have to go 90 minutes, so hopefully he doesn't have the same problem that Danny Acosta had. It's going to snap Hoffman's consecutive appearance streaks, but all streaks come to an end, all careers come to an end, everything has an end to it. So, you really hope that next, Saturday, if Hoffman comes out and he's the starter again, let's hope he gets that 50th goal.
I want to look at it with the opposite side. Everything has a new beginning.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Maybe that's my baby mentality.
That's got to be the better mentality. I got to switch to, don't I?
I guess I gotta give my wife a shout out, Sarah Southwick, for letting me come down and sit in the booth and watch a little soccer as she's 9 months pregnant.
Definitely. She's at home cursing your name, but
let's hope not.
But she still loves you deep down.
Swope Park, Belmar kept his boots wet with paint as he'll clip it in. Nice looking ball. Sparrow there to punch it out.
Very brave there from Connor Sparrow to come out, and from Blackwood to, trying to get in there, trying to make a difference. Good ball in from Belmar, but Connor coming off his line, much like he didn't do on the first goal, and did a great job.
Brody looks like he's going to put back on his penny.
Some people can play through cramps. Some people can. I'm not been one of those players. Once all the liquid's gone, it's gone. But, hopefully Danny Acosta can.
Nice looking ball inside the box. Sparrow there to punch it out. Still inside the area. Across the end line for a goal kick.
He hasn't
put many steps wrong tonight, Connor Sparrow, but that's definitely something where you probably just want to send it back over your bar and just be safe, because he punched that out. And if nobody's there to collect it, that could be an an oncoming forward, and he just has a free strike from the top of your penalty spot. Putting anything into that 18-yard space is always dangerous.
Monarchs have pulled back their substitution. Briggs going to keep the 11 he has on the field and keep his remaining sub to see what changes he needs to make here. Latest, the foul will be called. Didick will be called for a challenge on Mare, and he's being warned.
It looked like a frustration tackle. It was something that definitely didn't need to go in. You could have tried to win the ball there, but he seemed more content with just hammering through the back of Mayer, who's had a bunch of joy tonight.
Ryden done a good job at center back tonight for the Monarchs. He's played the last few games as an outside back, but being called on tonight to play the center back position.
It only adds to your resume by doing that, you know, showing that you can play multi-positions. Taylor Pay's the same thing for RSL. Sean Barry's the same thing for RSL. They both can play two different spots across the back line, and that's very useful on a lot of teams to have. But to have two players like that on the Monarchs, you know, that swing up with RSL is, you know, a great asset to have.
Herrera has also been playing really well tonight, done a good job on his assignments, especially in the second half, having the challenge of playing against Belmar. Swope Park throwing numbers forward. Storm out wide to Belmar. Back to Mayer. Herrera to Velasquez. Dance around a little bit. Chang back to Velasquez. Monarchs possessing well in a dangerous area, though, as Chang's going to decide to relieve pressure forward in a smart ball, even if it's just to dump it forward.
It just seems like his Velcro on that left foot, Sebastian Velasquez, really just sticks to his foot when he dribbles, and that outside of the left foot utilizes it better than a lot of players I've ever seen.
All the way back to Zendejas. Monarchs still leading 4-1 here in the 76th minute of play. Monarchs still have a substitution remaining. Swope Park has one as well. It feels like it's not over yet. Opportunities aplenty for both sides. The Monarchs with the better of the opportunities.
It's definitely not over, but judging from what Swope Park has been able to throw, and as the match gets on and they're down 4-1, they're playing at altitude still. They're going to be the team that tires first, especially playing an away game right before they came here. So those tired legs are setting in. That jet lag is going to be setting in a little bit, and that altitude is going to affect you more. And then with the scoreline the way it is, it's really hard to see them coming back into this game. But that's not going to stop Briggs from making sure that he only wants that one goal to be scored.
Didick.
Anything else is going to get you extra sprints 2 days from now.
The extra sprints. 4 corners, maybe.
4 corners, yeah. That's a terrible drill.
Oh, so bad. Minter, a former Monarch. Pick up his head back to Didick. Evans, MLS veteran, wearing the captain's armband for Swope Park.
You really do get some of those most beautiful sunsets here in Utah, don't you?
Oh, gorgeous. Hurd there. Hurd does a good job to break things up. Chad mentioned a beautiful sunset here tonight at Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs have numbers forward. Chang gonna go forward. Velasquez running with him. Velasquez is gonna make the overlapping run. He'll cut back and slow things up to Chang. Back to Velasquez. Monarchs playing simple 1-2 touch passing right now. Just as I say that, Velasquez takes 5 touches. Gallagher.
That's the person you want to be taking 5 touches, though.
The only reason why it takes 5 touches is you can't tell whether it's all one touch. It might be all still attached to his foot. He's just so smart when he's on the ball and with players around him. He just never, ever just gets too anxious and makes a mistake. He's always very confident.
Velasquez.
This is really where he can show off his skill, because you have that 4-1 lead. You have more freedom going forward. The coach is going to allow you to be more inventive.
Portillo, beautiful ball to Chang. Chang, nice dummy there. Hernandez inside the area. Challenge. And a nice challenge by Didick to break things up. Monarchs now just pinging the ball around, making the ball do the work here in the last few minutes. Swope Park defending.
The attackers of Swope Park have really, you have to leave people up to take chances, but even the players that are coming back and tracking aren't really showing any interest in coming back into this game.
Chang, nice job to get around his defender. He's inside the area, looking, probably should have taken a touch or two more, but quickly crossed in. It'll be cleared out by Swope Park. Throw in for the Monarchs.
Unless he had somebody there that was wide open, I would like to see him take a touch like you mentioned. But he's that person that likes to. He's that left-footed player that plays on the right. They like him to come in and take shots on his right. Or
Sebastian Velasquez just outside the 18, looks to get around his defender, being tugged and pulled. There'll be a foul called. Mayer just outside the area. Be a free kick for the Monarchs.
Is it Mayer or is it Marr? Because I every time I see that, I always Bill Marr. I'm not too sure, but I confuse him with I confuse him with Juan Mayer.
Just nice little Meg there.
Just so tricky, and no player ever likes being insulted in that way. But Sebastian does that to quite a few players. Almost every defender he comes up against, it seems. Portillo's going to have his second chance to whip in a dangerous ball. Be really interesting. He's lining up like he could power it to the near post around the wall. If he wanted to, would make it really interesting.
Two-man wall in front of him. Zendejas is lined up his wall. Portillo with the right foot. He'll serve it in, takes a crack, puts it around the wall. Good look there, and sometimes the traffic creates a challenge for the keeper, but he's able to collect.
I think that's a good play, but put a second person on the ball to make the keeper think that maybe a left-footed person's gonna, maybe Sebastian Velasquez, make him feel like he's gonna whip it into the back post, and then you have Portillo, who can really do anything he wants to with his right foot. Just comes around, puts a nice little, move on the ball, but he starts it just a little bit too inside the post. Then he's to start just a little bit outside to make, to make it so the keeper has no chance.
Herrera moving forward with Chang out wide of him. Herrera made a nice run there. Chang wasn't able to see it. Velasquez with a nice fancy footwork. A ball sent over to Ryden. He's going to switch the field. Monarchs now going to attack from the left side. Hurd. He's been good all night long. That was an errant pass. Maybe fatigue is starting to set in for him.
Fatigue for sure, but I want to say he had more runs, and he got the ball a lot more in the first half when he was on the right side. Ever since Chang's come on, he's definitely enjoyed the majority of the balls seen, compared to Hurd, and Hurd's coming at the game from a different angle now. So his adjustment hasn't been as good as it was on the right side, but he's still putting in the work and putting in the runs. He's an absolute dog working out there in the outside mid. Good 1-2.
Swope Park moving forward, stringing some nice possession together here in the last few minutes. Ball whipped in. Gallagher going to go to ground. Belmar still with it. Portillo goes to ground. Belmar inside the 18 looking for options. He cuts back. He'll play it back. And a ball driven back post. Sparrow does a good job to come off his line and will pluck it out of midair.
Yeah, you can see Sparrow's been just brimming with confidence ever since this whole home game stand. To be fair, he's had 3 great games in a row where the last game he was pretty much he was my man of the match and kept them in that game to give Mayer that chance to score the game winner. And he's done a great job, and his decision making, with the exception of the first goal, has been fantastic tonight.
Chang, he'll slow things up. Chandler Hoffman getting his number called after he thought he was not going in the match. He'll make an entrance tonight here momentarily. Monarchs going to use their third and final sub to bring on the goal scorer, looking to try to find number 50.
This could be a great game for it. There's going to be chances. There's going to be other opportunities for them to score in these last 10 minutes, and let's hope that Chandler's on the end of one of them and he's able to get his 50th goal. It's a great benchmark to reach and a great goal to achieve.
Ryden. Back to Sparrow. Swope Park not looking like they're attacking much together. They're scared of that counterattack that the Monarchs have put on all night long. Marais gonna stay onside.
I wish that Marais had seen where he was. If he had just let the ball bounce and turn around, he would have realized that he would have been in the top of the box one-on-one with the goalkeeper. But sometimes you don't give that look over your shoulder and it comes back to bite you.
Getting late in the match at Rio Tinto Stadium, Royals and Orlando Pride, Arta and company, Alex Morgan, U.S. national team star, a U.S. national team star and an international star, 2 players down.
Nasty little collision. They got the best of them on that one.
Monarchs gonna hold their substitution again.
Looks like they might have just got their legs kind of caught up together, but Danny Acosta is actually signaling to come out right now. And Blackwood's limping out of it as well.
Monarchs gonna make the substitution for Marais. You could hope that Danny Acosta can go the full 90 at this point with the final substitution being used. Looked like the Monarchs coaching staff was trying to call off that substitution.
Well, he's not tough just in the sense of what he's able to dish out. The kid can really take a lot.
Marais with a goal in the 55th minute play, his second goal in 2 games, and he'll leave the match in the 85th minute.
Great job for the young man.
Came in, piggybacked his beautiful game-winning goal against OCSC with another goal that was just a tap-in setup. Started and finished by Aaron Herrera, who won the ball in midfield, played a great ball out to Hurd, who whipped in a good ball that near post, flicked it on to Mayer with a great little finish.
Oh, Chang, beautiful touch there to bring it down. He'll try to get around Belmar. Defended well by Belmar.
One of the few people he won't beat for pace.
Maybe late in this match. Hasn't been on the full 90. Sometimes that plays to an advantage.
Belmar's first 5 steps, though, are just so powerful. He can get to anything, it seems like.
Hoffman will officially now continue his streak.
Congrats to him.
Maybe you were right. Maybe I was looking at the new beginnings. Not quite the new beginnings.
Not turning that page yet, huh?
Not yet. One of those capable goal scorers. 49 goals scored in the USL. Trying to get number 50. Ball on the pitch. Monarchs will have to slow things up as Hoffman was making a run. Herrera, he'll throw it in quickly to Velasquez. Hernandez back to Ryden. Little touch there. Ryden's gonna have to hurry and clear it.
Play's never over if Mentor's around.
Hoffman making a run. Shot. It will not count.
That's a little unfortunate because I think the linesman is calling Jose Hernandez offside. I'm not sure if they were both in an offside position, but it looked like Hoffman might have just been a little bit onside. It would have been on his right side. The keeper didn't make a play at it, but he scored his 49th and a half goal, it seems. Needs that other half.
Phoenix Rising gets the 3-0 victory over OKC Energy. The final substitution will be made by Pablo Nagamura. Colton Storm's night will be done.
Go a little bit more attacking, probably, well, obviously way too late for that.
He'll bring on Rebellion.
If it was 3-1, he might have brought him on a little bit sooner. Try and get one more goal, leave here with a little bit more pride.
Bird looking forward to Hoffman. Hoffman's all by himself on the wing. No one forward. He'll try to slow things up. Back to Hernandez. Hernandez keeps it in. Take a deflection. It'll be a throw in for Swope Park. '88th minute of play. Monarchs lead 4-1 here at Zions Bank Stadium. A beautiful Wednesday evening in USL action.
If you only watched the first 10 minutes of this game and you saw Swope Park play and you saw their goal, you would have thought that it would have been just one-way traffic, and you'd be very surprised at the 4-1 result. But ever since that first 10 minutes, Monarchs have responded really well here and really just claimed this game as their own with a little help from Brad Evans there for the 4th goal.
Ryden will let it play all the way back to Connor Sparrow. Sparrow will pick up his head, looking forward. Herrera and Chang there. Nice win there by Mayer. Ball played forward. Hernandez trying to play a right-footed outside of the football to Chang. Misses hits that, and it'll go back to Zendejas.
Tough ball to play as you're coming across to your left, but a really amazing move. That one that you don't normally see here from him. He just ducks around and uses his size. Uses his size there, and the defender just goes screaming past him.
Takes a deflection. Shot, Chang. Monarchs looking for number 5.
Swope Park just, there's nowhere to go. It's almost like they're playing one less person down. Or they're playing one man down.
Entering the 90th minute of play. 2 minutes of stoppage will be announced here shortly. 4-1 Monarchs. Have to give a shout out to our wonderful team here on hand, making this production happen back in the booth.
So many faces behind this, so many more faces than actually put on the show that actually have to do the dirty work. So we appreciate everything that they do.
Wonderful camera crew here, bringing the action to you here at Zions Bank Stadium. Swope Park not done. They'll look forward. Belmar, he's going to be flagged off. It'll be a free kick for the Monarchs. It's the 4th official has finally indicated stoppage time will be 2 minutes here.
Well done tonight by the officiating crew. They made a lot of great decisions, really let the boys play today and let the game kind of develop itself. And the team that's winning has been the team that's been the better team the entire night, the Monarchs. Probably with the exception of the first 10 minutes.
1,000+ fans here on hand tonight to witness this one.
And if you're not here, the only excuse you better have is that you're at the Royals game, because there's no Jazz game tonight.
7,000 fans there at Rio Tinto Stadium for the Royals. Hoffman in behind goal, and Didick is going to put it up over the crossbar. And an opportunity for Chandler Hoffman there, almost to get number 50.
And a great ball again by Danny Acosta, just sending in one that the defenders are facing their goal, and they have to figure out whether or not they're going to clear it out or they're going to take it down. And when you're putting in balls with that kind of pace and that kind of accuracy, they can only really do one thing: take a corner, try and bleed out the clock here, and end the game.
It'll be a corner kick for the Monarchs. Portillo will take it. We're 1.5 minutes into stoppage time of 2. Coast is going to play it all the way back to Connor Sparrow, who's well off his line. Sweeper keeper. Herrera, nice touch there. Herrera trying to keep possession. A nice little elbow there by Rebellion.
Something Herrera probably just needs to walk away from. No reason to get into a physical matchup right now. He's about to blow the whistle. Always good to see that feistiness, but be smart too. It seems like they both were.
We're through 2 minutes of unofficially here. The center referee puts the whistle in his mouth. But before that, an opportunity. It'll be an offside. And that's 90 minutes of soccer here at Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs with the 4-1 victory.
The win they've been waiting for, really. 4-1, that's a great scoreline. It looks great on the stat sheet, and it was well-deserved. It was a game that they thoroughly deserved to win. Connor Sparrow from the back all the way up to Juan Mayer, who had a great game and, you know, piggybacking off his goal that he already scored. And a great result. Ledesma, we wish you, you know, great start, and we wish you the best of luck against Honduras with the U.S. national team, youth national team.
As well as a good luck to Wilson Harris heading there as well, and David Ochoa, who was not in the 18 tonight.
And now they jump up to the first in the standings. Obviously, the other teams still have some games to play, but with Fresno coming in for their 4-game homestand, 2-0-1 on that homestand, they're definitely going to be looking to make it 3-0-1.
Monarchs with the 4-1 victory, like we mentioned, their 3rd straight game here at Zions Bank Stadium. Victories in 2 of the 3, like you mentioned. Monarchs moving to 6-1-1 on the season with 19 points to move atop the table. Swope Park is going to fall to 4-2-3.
And they're going to be a little bit, upset with this, because now that they come and they put 2 good performances together, come from behind win, late winner with Juan Mayer last week or last game, and then this game there's just an absolute beating, I really feel like. But they also had that against Las Vegas Lights FC, up 10 men or up a man for 70 minutes, couldn't get that goal. But now have the floodgates opened, and are the goals going to come flowing?
And sometimes once those floodgates open, teams start to find their stride, and 4 goals is that floodgates opening.
That's that confidence builder, and that's what you need at home when you have those home stands. And it really does wonders for you when you go on the road. You have that confidence to go out there and believe that you can compete on any field against any team.
Let's check out the remaining schedule here for the Monarchs upcoming. They've got 1 more back here at home this weekend in a quick turnaround against Fresno.
Oh, it's always been a quick turnaround. It's been 4 games in 15 days or something like that. So it's one of those things where they did a great job, because they came out here and they had 4-1. They go back to Las Vegas Lights FC to kind of right that wrong. Then at Timbers 2, then versus Sacramento here back at home, and Rio Grande Valley. So those 2 games away, that's kind of what you want to see. It's hard to go 4 games away in a row. But having these 4 games at home, that'll give you that confidence for those 2 road games, especially against the Lights FC team, who they know they can play well against, but that'll be 11-on-11 most likely.
And down at Cashman Field, that's a very hostile environment, maybe is the word I would use. They had a great fan base showing up for games down there, and that's going to be a challenge, but first they have to get through the weekend in Fresno.
Yeah, Fresno's going to, there's no pushover. There's no team that you are supposed to overlook, whether in the first or whether in last. It doesn't matter. You need to come up with that same mentality. They're going to get some of the regular guys that have been coming in. Chang will probably step back in, Hoffman and Cashier, who have rightfully had those, earned those spots. But Hurd, Ledesma, and Mayer did a great job tonight coming in and working as a team, chemistry, scoring 4 goals. Great job by them.
We could mention multiple men of the match tonight, and I think it'd be hard to select just one. Multiple players had good 90-minute performances tonight.
Yeah, I would probably say that mine would have to go to Ryden. He really didn't have a whole lot of work to do, but coming in and switching from the left back role into the center back role is never an easy thing, and he got exploited early, but then he fixed it, and really there was no threats. He did such a great job playing with his outside backs and playing with his goalkeeper and being in a good defensive shape, and then of course he gets the goal.
From our wonderful crew here at Zions Bank Stadium, Chad Barrett, Landon Southwick, and we'll sign off tonight and catch you back here Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. between the Real Monarchs and Fresno FC.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.